Brethren, I pray you sing a new song. Sing praise in the assembly of the righteous. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let the high praise of God be on the mouths of the saints and a two-edged sword in their hands to execute vengeance on the demonic nations and punishments on those peoples, to bind their kings with chains. This honor have all his saints. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Sing to him a new song.
Well, he's gathering us back together. Right? And when we come back together, he says to bring the good and the bad, right? To bring the weak and the good, right? And he's going to make this. Yep. You see what I'm saying? So we're trying to show our people who they are according to the Bible. Stop, like I said, it's a curse to be divided. Yes. It's a curse, and that's a bad thing. A curse is a bad thing. So we're trying to show our people to come back together because it's power, right? There's power in numbers, right? So we're trying to come bring ourselves back together. So go ahead.
All right, so this kind of going off the point she made, like the Most High given us choices and things like that. So you have a choice right now. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil, and that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statute, and his judgment, and his judgment, that thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee, and the land whither thou goest over to possess.
So he's showing you life and death. That's your choice. You can pick either one, right? All right. If you choose to follow his laws, there's life. Why? Because he's teaching you how to live long, right? He's teaching you how to live long. You got everything has rules, everything has laws. If you choose to follow his laws, there's life. If you choose not, there's death. Go ahead.
Can I say one more thing?
Where is this list of rules, though?
That's a great question. Right. But go ahead. What do you have?
I was going to say, because I think a lot of times people use the word laws in the sense that, there's actually various types of laws. But if you think of Torah as instructions, everything has instructions on how, you look at a recipe, if you think about it, okay, this is a law, on how to mix this stuff, then you're going to be like, I don't want to do that because it's a law. But if you think, okay, these are just instructions, okay, you just follow.
I see what you're saying. And it's law and instructions. I'm sure that's I don't know, but I mean, I would believe that's a synonym.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So there's similarities to that.
Because of us speaking English instead of Hebrew, Hebrew has this within where, like, if you understand the roots and stuff like that, you'll understand that, okay, this is not necessarily how you're thinking about it when you're thinking with a Western mind and you come at it in such a way. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it Hebraically, then you understand it's like, okay, well, that's why it says your laws are not grievous. Well, actually it is if your Torah is not grievous. So if it's instructions, well, okay, your instructions are not grievous. You know what I'm saying?
So how long? So how do you know? What do you consider yourself? What have you been learning? It sounds like you know what I'm saying? You know what's going on.
I've been, actually, it's been a long process, but it started when actually I was a little kid, that I would read and there I'm just like, I wish I was these people because their God takes care of them, right? And then I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see Christmas or Easter in the Bible. What about these feast days? And then as I got older, I met with some people and started learning Arabic, and so I was like, well, this is close to Hebrew. I wanted to learn that anyways. And so then as I got to learning, I started hanging out with other people that was keeping the feast, but not our people, other people. But I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But I'm being, brought along. And it's like, okay, so then after time of studying and looking at different stuff, when somebody told me that we the people, I was like, okay, now that makes sense.
Right.
And everything makes sense that I've been reading. Right. So now when I read in Psalms 83, and it's like, the nations have taken a crafty counsel, I can understand the slave trade. I can understand this. I can understand that while we're in slavery, these people been getting together, stealing our tongue. That's why we couldn't read, because we going to recognize, hold up, that river is where I come from. No, you know, so yeah.
Everything starts to make
So
sense.
I'm all about wake up, Jacob, let's
Right.
get together like people, y'all.
Right.
Because they trying to kill us for a reason.
Right.
You know they can genetically alter food to
Already
target
know.
us.
Right.
They already been
Oh,
doing that.
we need to get it together,
Hey,
like
water too.
yes, to just target our genes.
Hey, and then they got like plastic how it messes up the male, system, the man system. They're trying to change men to be women. They're trying to take away the testosterone, add more estrogen in the water. You know what I'm saying?
And,
So-
and the thing with like eugenics, you look at this thing, you look at the trunk of that tree and it says eugenics. But the roots and all of the different things, it's an attack on every front. I mean, education, judicial, food, I mean, everything that would touch us as a person, they got a plan of attack for that. And if you keep people to where you can't learn a skill, you this and that, it gets lost from your generation. You know what I'm saying? Whereas they take and acquire and then use it against us. That's why.
Well, hey, it's beautiful that you got that knowledge to know. It's
If you would've
definitely a
started with
relief.
that right here, I would have had no reason to argue from the jump.
Okay. Well, hey, we can start with that. Did you have something to say?
I will admit this to you. You most definitely know more about with this heritage than I do. And I'm not very interested in learning from anybody else except myself.
Well, I mean, you got to learn something from someone.
But
You go to a job, you're not learning from yourself. You're not gonna tell your manager, I don't want to hear what you got to say. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna do the sandwich by
I know
myself.
that.
So-
I mean in the sense, not that.
Even as simple as that is, it's as simple when it comes to you as a person, as an individual. Because the Most High God raised up a man that already knew.
You don't think you're being too complicated? Why don't you kind of like, why can't you be, simple? Like everything I'm saying, I don't believe in something. Take it literal. Oh, you don't believe in it.
But brother, I'm telling you,
anything.
just as simple.
When I say I don't want to learn from anybody other than myself. You take that 100%.
I'm
literally,
telling you,
like I
I'm
literally
showing
can.
you the relationship between of something very asinine. That's easy. Hold on.
You know what somebody?
That's
You
easy
know what
to say.
somebody in my shoes would say?
Something. Let me
being-
finish.
you're
Let me
being
finish. Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish? So when I said that you would go to your manager, and you wouldn't do that to your manager, right?
Okay.
That's very simple and easy to understand, right?
Very simple.
Right. So when it comes to your heritage, it's just as simple.
But
There's no but. But go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
can read these books.
So you're being taught by someone else.
No, so what he's saying is he will take the information that he got from you, but he's going to study it himself, right? That's what he's saying?
Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what he's saying. That's why I'm like, that's why he said he would do it himself.
Okay, okay, brother. Hey, like I said, and I've been saying this whole time, it's a curse to be away from your people. Right? It
still
makes
don't-
you weak.
I still don't 100% believe in it. But y'all done made the most sense out of every year.
All right, so you say you still don't, it don't make sense to you?
I said I still don't 100% believe it. But y'all done made the
Okay,
most sense.
so
out of
why
every
not?
religion.
Like, what about it?
Well, it's just too much time.
What you mean, less time?
Too much time that went on. Too much time that went on.
That's why-
Meaning that anything y'all say can't 100% be accurate. A lot of it can be accurate, but not 100%.
So look, that's why I read the scriptures. That's why he.
Yeah, but see,
look, the
over
higher
time
power-
the scriptures could have been changed. You never know.
But listen, that's why the higher power have you right now in front of us, and he told you choose. He said before you this day, he gave you the choice to either choose life or death.
But why
it's
not-
up to you to choose that.
Why not choose to open your mind to just a bunch of different possibilities and move?
Because then
Okay, but that'd
can
be
somebody get
considered
Proverbs
wrong.
3:1?
Would that be considered wrong?
I'm finna answer it. Proverbs 3:1, and somebody get I believe it was. Somebody get Proverbs 14 and 12. You said because
Why?
what you say again?
Why can't it just be? Oh yeah, why can't people just open their mind to a bunch of different possibilities?
All right, so we're about to answer the question. Somebody get that Proverbs 14 for me. All right, read that.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man.
So now that's going off your own understanding, like the way that seems right to you, right? And that's you opening your mind, correct?
Yeah, why
All
can't
right.
people just do
continue as they do.
All right, we finna answer it. Continue.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
Because the end thereof is the ways of death.
So what you're saying is I'm gonna choose my follow my own path, and the only thing I'm gonna see in my own path is death, which is already a inevitability.
Correct. But if you look, read Proverbs, the Proverbs.
This is Proverbs chapter 3:1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Right. So that's why he wants you to lean on him, because in him you will have long life, everlasting life. That's the whole reason of us not leaning to our own understanding, so we can get everlasting life from him. Huh? Somebody get Proverbs 3:5 real quick. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
All right. So you said, why don't people just open up their minds and woo? We read a scripture saying that your own understanding is the ways of death. But you said inevitably we're gonna die, correct?
Yeah.
Right. But you lean on to the Most High. He's going to give you everlasting life.
Oh,
So
and that's like when you die, and then some people gotta wait, and then some other people get brought back for an even better, peaceful life, unlike this one on earth that's all chaotic.
No. We're gonna get into that. Read that Proverbs 3:5. This is another scripture.
God, it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart,
Right.
and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right. So it says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. Continue.
In all thy ways acknowledge him,
Uh-huh.
and he shall direct thy paths.
He's gonna direct your paths, because you don't know where your thoughts come from. You don't understand the thoughts that you have. So continue.
Be not wise in thine own eyes.
Don't be wise in your own eyes, which you do. Continue.
Fear the Lord,
Fear the Lord
and depart from evil.
and depart from evil. So do you understand that?
Yeah.
So that's why we're telling you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, because we want you to have everlasting life. And in other words, we're showing love.
God.
And that's why somebody get John
So what is your plan after y'all get enough followers and all of that?
what's the plan?
Yeah, what then what?
Take the kingdom.
We're gonna get into that. But another point was what is sin? We're finna show you what sin is. Somebody get that real quick. Then you also asked what was this list of laws? That's another question you said, right? We're gonna get into that too. All right, get that.
God, it's the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin, transgresseth also the law.
So sin is when you go against this list of laws. That's sin. Continue.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Right. So sin is the transgression of the law. So how do you know if you sin if you don't know the law? Right. So somebody go to the 10 Commandments. Exodus 20.
Thou shalt not steal.
So do you know the 10
Thou
Commandments?
shalt not worship anything. You know, I know the thing where you're not supposed to worship the bull. I know not the bull specifically, but you know what I mean.
Idols.
Yeah, graven images and stuff like that. All right, y'all want to see?
You know, just I don't know all of them. Just the basic ones.
Okay. So,
Oh yeah, and there thou shalt not commit adultery.
So that's going into what's considered good and bad. He's letting you know that those things are bad if you do that, because it's a commandment, it's a law.
But-
That's how you determine what's
You have
good and
something,
bad.
sis?
That's how you determine what is sin. Correct? So that makes sense. So we finna get into some laws.
What up?
Get the first one, Exodus 20 and 3.
God, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right, so that's the first one. If you have other gods before him, that's considered bad, because he told you he don't want no other gods before him. Because we know that he's I'm gonna get to that actually. Because we know that he's the somebody get Joel 2 and 27. So, no, he got it. You stay there. So
Now I do understand this.
yeah, exactly. So what you know what he looked like according to the Bible?
A white man with long hair.
That's what you think?
No, that's what they said according to the Bible, right? Or no, that's the church. That's what they teach us. But I know for him. Now,
Come on now.
one, there can't be a Christmas because where he was born, it doesn't snow. Two, it wasn't cold, and where he was, there was no white man whatsoever.
Exactly. We're gonna you drop that and just give me the revelation. Read this though. We're gonna show that he's only our God, and that the other nations they destroyed us and things like that, so we wouldn't. You listening? He destroyed us. They destroyed us, so we wouldn't know who our God is, and they set up their gods. That's why you said every religion has a God, but
That's why I
he's not the
personally
God. He's
believe
not the God of everybody though.
And that's why I've always personally believed that Christianity and other religions were just a way to control the dumber species.
It is. We agree with you, so we on the same page. Now read that Joel 2:27 real quick. I'm gonna prove to you that he's only the God of us. Right. Read that.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
Right,
My
so
people shall never be ashamed.
Right, he just said that I'm in the midst of Israel. And when you actually understand the Bible, Israel is talking about us. He says, I'm only in the midst of Israel. He's only in the midst of you, and that he's the Lord, your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. So you shouldn't be ashamed that he's only the God of you. Now we're finna get what he looked like according to the Bible. Get that real quick.
It's the book of Revelation, 1:1 verse.
Yeah.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So this is a revealing of what Jesus Christ looked like. He don't look like that, but we finna prove it. Yeah, no, jump to 13.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Now when you read the Bible, you understand that the Son of Man is Jesus. Continue.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So he had a long garment down to the foot. Continue.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Right, he had a war belt on. Continue.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So he had white woolly hair. Like whenever you see like an old person, their hair white and it's woolly.
So in the book, he's described as somewhat of a warrior.
Who?
In the book, he sounds like he's being described as like some type of warrior.
We could just say that. We're gonna leave it at that, okay? Continue. But just keep in mind he has white woolly hair, okay?
As white as snow,
right?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right, because he drank wine and different things like that. Continue.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Right. His feet like unto fine brass. So what color your feet is, it's gonna be the color of the rest of your body. So it's letting you be known that he's a melanated man. He doesn't look nothing like that. So continue.
As if they burned in a furnace.
And it looked like his skin looked like as if it burned in a furnace. Then it be known that he's a so-called black man. Because whenever you read the scriptures, he was born in.
Are y'all gonna say something about Yahshua?
Who?
Yahshua.
No.
Okay.
Who is Yahshua?
Never mind.
So, so in the Bible,
it's some other religious stuff.
No.
I keep forgetting this is heritage, not religion.
Exactly. So you got to get that out your head. So, yeah.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
So it's just then to be known that he's a so-called black man according to the Bible. Contrary to what religion teach you. Right? So, you got any more questions or anything?